Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In this video, we get to do a job site walkthrough with my personal hero, Ben Morton. Ben is a builder up in Maine, and we got to visit one of his job sites. So last week, or whenever this thing is posted, recently in September, we got to go on a road trip. Steve Basic, myself, Ben Bogey, Aaron Jones, Mark Willie, Chris Cook from Huber Engineered Woods, Nick from the tech team. We left from Boston, drove up through Maine, and went into Grand Manan Island to shoot some video for the International Builder Show. This video is sponsored by Huber Engineered Woods, the makers of Advantech Zip System, Exacore, Zip System Rain Screen, Advantech Subfloor Adhesive, all that stuff you've seen us using for a long time. Okay, so along the drive, we got to go visit Ben's job. Now, the reason why I think this video is worth your time is because Ben just dispenses wisdom like he's having a conversation. Every time I talk to Ben, I learn something. He's helped us get better at rigging. He's got a rotator forklifts, and he has got his operation dialed in. He would not admit to that, but I'm just gonna say it. So anyway, enjoy the video, and thank you very much for watching. If you feel like it, hit the little thumbs up and the notification button, and smash that subscribe button. All right, let's enjoy the video.
Hey Ben, someone's here.
Who's here?
Oh, you know.
Can I help you?
Yeah. I heard about Jesus Christ. Oh man, nice to see you. What a beautiful view. Wow. I'd come to work every day here.
Ben, how are you, man? You too, dude. You too.
You guys looking for Chef on job site?
Yeah,
we took a road there and asked.
Is Dimitri around?
Hey, I'm Ben. I think we've met before.
Hey,
Hey, Mark.
Mister.
All right, everybody, this is a treat for me because Ben's kind of one of my heroes. The irony is Ben read my articles in JLC for all these years, and now I look up to Ben's projects because
That's totally it.
it really is. Yeah, so like the best framers never post on Instagram. Ben is one of those guys that rarely posts on Instagram. But we were at one of his projects on our way up to Canada, so finally, in person, we only see each other at shows. I get to see one of your projects in person.
I'm super happy to have you here.
Yeah, this is exciting. So one framer to another. So tell us about the project.
It's a multi-building project, family compound here in Maine. And we had phase one over there a couple of years ago. This is phase two. Highly engineered house. The ground's a little soft here, so there were a lot of helical piers driven into the ground to start, and then grade beams poured on the foundation. And then from there, we have a lot of steel connecting to all that. So
How many pieces of steel?
78 pieces of steel in this house right here.
What's the square footage on this?
About 3,500 square feet.
35. We're doing a little 30 by 30 ADU that has more steel in it than the last like 3 houses we've built.
Yeah, it's wild. So the steel's driving the build for sure. You know, we're not sheeting many walls before we stand them up. It's a lot of moment frames that we're assembling and installing all the steel. We don't fabricate it.
Okay.
But we like it delivered, drilled and all the connections welded, and then we take it from there, the tabs and everything. So we like to bolt it, square it up, put as much wood on it as we can, and then fly it into place.
Yeah.
And and then build the wood walls to it. And
So I say we go in the house, show us around, and then you mentioned that you're flying in all the steel. We have to go and look at how you're flying in the steel.
Okay, well, we'll show
that
you
is like rotator forklifts are where it's at. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go in. Where do you want to start?
You might as well start in the primary suite here. There's very little steel in this, only like, I don't know, 6 pieces.
That's nothing. That's like a normal house has 6.
So we use, this company, Knickerbocker Group, uses 5/8 zip on walls and roof.
So everything.
Everything. And a big reason is honestly just so that all the materials are the same. You don't end up grabbing a sheet a 1/2 inch and putting it on the roof or vice versa. So a little bit of savings in materials, but it's just a flatter wall too, I think.
Is that typical? Hurricane clips on the...
It's not typical.
Okay.
No, that is not typical.
We're not going to show our engineer that detail. Otherwise we'll start doing it.
No, that whole overhang is atypical of what we would normally do here.
Okay.
But
What's a little more hardware?
yeah, so this one, not only do we have a lot of steel, but we have a lot of saddles. Everything is, and then all these columns are going to get hold downs down into the basement. But I mean, those are saddles for the other project.
At least they're screws now instead of bolts.
That's right, exactly.
That makes it easier. So moment frame.
One big moment frame there.
How do you like the let's see,
The slopable.
The slopable hanger on the
Yeah.
blue lamps there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it works for sure.
Yeah, this is more like what we do. 4x because of hold downs?
4x for hold down. Same thing with the blind hanger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's all to tie it in.
Getting to that point where we're not going to be able to build walls and lift them.
It's really hard. I mean, you know, over there, that same thing, double blind hanger. We asked a couple times if we could omit those, and we couldn't.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It's always worth asking.
It is worth asking, for sure. Yep. Some things aren't, and some are. You know, sometimes a question can save you a few days worth of labor. Sometimes it's not worth it.
And taping seams?
Taping seams is just because we knew the project was going to sit out for a while, and they're trying to keep moisture out of the basement.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that was the reason for using the X Factor.
And you rolled it, I can see?
Oh, we definitely rolled it.
Yeah.
Chandler over there, he's the tape roller.
He's the master roller. Very cool. Okay, I want to look at all this steel.
Yeah.
So, you know, our rigging chain was stolen by those guys that were breaking into our job.
Oh, I didn't
Drove
pick
me
up on
nuts.
that.
Yeah, and so we bought another one.
Yep.
And now I think we need another one just to have a spare.
Yeah.
That's been like everybody goes, what kind of chain, where'd you get it? And I'm like, here's what Ben sent. I saved your email. Yeah. Yeah, I want to come back to that. That's pretty slick. How do you like these? Everybody keeps telling us to get adjustable braces.
I mean, I love them until I have to move them.
That's kind of where we're at. Is like, do we want to transport and store?
I'm thinking about getting an old section of culvert or new section and putting a cap on one end, so I can just slide all of them in like a quiver, and you know, swing it around in the machine, put it on the trailer. Because I've got a flatbed trailer that I load all the stuff onto and move it. And so I haven't done it yet, but that's my idea for transporting 30 of those at a time.
Yeah, otherwise it's just too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's good until somebody comes in on the weekend and messes with you, you know?
Yeah. Do they do that?
I don't know. Sometimes
you just kind of assume maybe
we think,
that they might
we're like, oh,
double-check.
somebody definitely came this weekend. We didn't, you know, we didn't mess that up last week.
I blame all of our biggest mistakes on whoever was here
Exactly.
after we left.
Yeah. So this floor system too, I think has 7 different types of floor joists in it, which is all driven by the HVAC, the mechanicals, I'm told.
Okay.
I worked really hard to ask to simplify it, but we weren't able to. So, you know, we have a lot of OJs, we have some I-joists, 2x8s, 2x10s, obviously a lot of steel, a lot of power beams, kind of all mingled into one. And we've had a lot of conversations around and around about what do we do, how do we keep this floor flat, right? Because the 2x8 is going to move different than the OJs, the I-joists, the power beams, the steel. And on this one, we just came full circle to we're just going to keep it all flush, and it's going to do what it's going to do. And it's a glue down floor up there. So they're hoping that, you know, if we have any major humps, that they'll be able to level it out with the glue. Yeah. You know, but yeah, it's a challenge. You know, it's a challenge.
That'll be interesting to see, because so you got sawn lumber, open web joists, and then I-joists. Yep. The open web, I wonder how those move relative to the I-joists. And at least it's summer, like the wood's dry, everything should be similar moisture. But
in my experience, what happens is the dimensional lumber shrinks, and the I-joists swell and then don't come back. So if we get a lot of rain, those are going up, those are going down. Yeah. But how do you forecast it? We were joking, like, do you run a sprinkler on the job throughout the build? You know, like, I don't know how to. So
you put those little things that, like, are they what is it? Desiccant? The little things that are supposed to keep moisture out of, like, your medication.
Yes.
You just hope that it absorbs.
Yeah, it's a real challenge. And I mean, we've had some floors that, you know, we always use top blocks. I don't know if you can see them, but we set each joist in with a block on top.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So that's,
that's what we do. And then we come back and hang it, because we put hangers on ahead of time, and the joists vary so much that we don't like that. So we fly them in like that. We put the hangers on after, and so everything has to be flush. It just is, because of the way we do it. Yeah. And then it does move after, and that's a forever battle for me, you know, and on every job. And I want to get better at it. I don't know how. You know?
Would you describe yourself as a perfectionist?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So you're doing the best you can, and then
doing the best I can. Yeah.
That's all you can do.
I'm a real practical person, you know.
A practicalist.
A practicalist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You got to be a pragmatist as a framer, because we can't control all this.
You can't.
Dissimilar materials. You got steel and wood.
Yep.
Yeah. Different species of wood depending on what it is.
Species, yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of times we'll get Doug fir on some of the bigger members. Actually, a lot of the rafters are here.
That's all we get.
yeah. Mostly it's spruce or fir here, honestly. But
All right, so I want to see, well, I want to see the view. So these all go down to,
they're all down, poured into concrete. There's footings down there with bolts embedded,
Okay.
and we put them in with
how
jam
do you
nuts.
get the
And then,
heights?
so right here we have we put jam nuts underneath these. Right here, I don't know if
Trying
you
not
can,
to hit you with this.
maybe I could grab that and shoot from out here. Or you
Yeah,
can-
we'll get B-roll of that.
Yeah, so anyway, there's a jam nut underneath there, and we go around and we set the jam nuts relative to the top of the subfloor.
Okay.
Okay. And then we know the steel height from both checking the steel shops ahead of time and then measuring it. So then it's as simple as putting the jam nut to the correct height, setting the column on it, bolting it down, and then we leave it ungrouted until we get the floor sheeted, until the last minute, honestly,
yeah.
until we have to. Because we'll tweak it up and down a little bit, massage it so we get any humps or bumps out.
So at this point, can you still make some adjustments?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit of pain. You just loosen that nut up, stick your fingers under there and
Okay.
twist the nut up and down. You can get a, ½ inch. And then once it's good, then we stuff some grout in there, which is usually right before we sheathe. It depends on the job and the location.
Yeah.
And
That's wind loads locally, or just the fact that it's so many windows?
Spans and windows.
Okay.
This is all windows, and most of our projects are all windows,
Yeah.
and have a lot of brace frames and moment frames. And I found probably 5 years ago that I just wanted to control the steel myself, right? Because again, a steel installer, an erector, will just put the steel up before we get there, so you don't have the opportunity to pack it. And they're going to put it exactly at the height that it should be. We put it at the height that it needs to be, which is a little different.
Yeah.
Because your 11 7/8 joist is 12 inches. It's not
Right,
11 7/8.
right.
So we get to massage it a little bit.
I like that term, massage. So
Yeah.
you're attaching as much of this as possible. And are these self-tapping?
No, you pre-drill for them. They call it floor bed screws. They're used in the trailer industry for screwing wood to trailer decks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got that from another builder a number of years ago, and we tack it with a steel nailer, and then we really put them on with that.
Okay. So you're tacking it with the Max?
Tacking it with the Max.
Yeah.
Yep.
That tool. You know, the irony is like we started using Max 08, and it wasn't until watching you and then Dimitri that I was like, we've got to get the
Yeah,
concrete nailer and
totally.
be able to, even though only one time have we ever had red iron.
Really?
Yep, we couldn't get a 8 3/4 by, I forget, 20 glue lam. It took like a week to fabricate, and we didn't want to be out of work.
Sure.
And our lumber yard was slow, so they just went and got the steel. Our engineer spec'd it, and we were just like, it took so much longer. Self-tapping screws, so.
It takes forever. Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably where we're going to end up, though,
Yeah.
with earthquakes, especially now that we're doing continuous insulation.
Yeah.
As a requirement, it might mean more steel to get our shear values.
So it's a pain. I mean, we have some steel over here that these 2 big columns here. Once we deck over the second floor, we're going to bring it up there, brace it all together. The welder will come and weld it up exactly where we want it, then we'll drop it into place. And we end up having to do a lot. So there's a lot of order of operations issues with it, for sure. But, it's like anything. You just learn how to work with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Order of operations, I mean, you should write a book, and that should be the title.
That's right.
Because, I mean, looking at all this, it's like, well, you spend a lot of time with the plans to work backwards.
Sure.
So, like, okay, we've talked a little bit, but I think it's kind of interesting for people watching. So you're a framer, you used to spend most of the time on site with bags on. How has life changed in the last couple of years?
Sure. I mean, since I got the roto, honestly, and, had the pressure of keeping that thing moving every day, we got a little bit bigger. I actually have 2 of those now. So I have another site going just like this, and the idea is to keep you have these complex builds, and sometimes you're missing a piece that holds everything up. So you have to keep the workflow going. You have to keep everything moving. So that means multiple jobs. So I'm on site all day, every day, but I'm not on the same site. And what that means for me is I can't really dive deep into the plans. I have on this site Brian over there. He's the plan guy.
Yeah.
He's talking to the architects, the engineers, the site supervisors. He's ordering materials, and everybody else is supporting him too, for sure. And then I'm just kind of on the periphery, making sure that we have what we need, making sure that the labor is in the right place. I move staging and materials around a lot. I maintain the machines, and then I do all the critical lifts. You know, so
Okay.
anytime there's anything critical happening,
Because you're the guy that took the class.
I'm the crane operator.
You're the operator,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So I'm on site for all that. You know, right now that machine is set up. You can operate under forklift license
Oh, okay.
because that has a regular jib on it. It's not a cable jib.
No cable. Okay.
So that one, yeah, if you're a certified forklift operator, you're good. My other one has the cable jib on it, so you need to be a crane operator.
And so your work hours when you're doing all this is like really before anybody shows up on site and staying late?
No,
Or-
it used to be. That was I didn't have a life. I'm trying to have
Yeah.
a life now, right? But so before I would do all that and then lay out all day and order materials. Now I can pretty much work a normal work schedule.
Good.
And I do that stuff during the day, you know. So I end up riding around in my truck more than I want to.
Yeah.
But that's
And you get to do some climbing, like go to Europe and climb.
and some climbing, yeah. So my life has changed a lot in the past 5 years because until then I was, I was putting every X on every board, and it's different now.
Yeah,
So.
that's good.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of power beams. A lot of the name of the game with working with steel is keep everything open-ended, keep everything loose, and so it's counterintuitive to how you build when it's an all-wood house. You know, we like to when it's all wood, you sheet everything and you lock everything in. You can almost, panelize the house ahead of time, right? But this is not like that. You have to put pieces in individually. You have to the steel dictates
Yeah.
it.
How big is your crew on this job on average?
I think about 6 people.
6.
Yep, and the other crew's a little bit smaller, but yeah, 3 or 4. So
Yeah.
and then I don't count myself.
Yeah. Oh man,
So.
it looks good. I mean, so many different kinds of material.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, glue lam, then LVL, and then you've got I-joists.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pieces to put
It's
together.
a lot of pieces, a lot of materials to track, to order, and to stay on top of. I mean, Brian's doing a phenomenal job, but it's a full-time job for him to just put marks on the boards and read the prints and order the materials. He's doing a great job.
This just blows my mind because I make so many mistakes that I'm like, there would be X's crossed out, different color marks, and snap lines.
Oh, he's an animal. He's really good. He's really good.
Shall we look at the forklift or the rotator?
All right. So this is the one I got in 2021. I got
This was the first one.
This is the first one. This is the nicer one. We were joking that this one was made like, midweek with like a lot of care. The other one's brand new and it was made on a Friday afternoon, So I haven't had any issues with this one. The other one's a little quirky sometimes, but they're good. They stay on top of it. Everything's under warranty, so they'd fix it. I think that's the key with having one of these is having a warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they require a lot of maintenance. They require a lot of tinkering, but I wouldn't want to build again without one.
Yeah, I can see why. At the little site that we're on, they didn't give us the access for the driveway, even though I was very clear. And so we've made it work, hauling materials up and down with the bigger forklift. But I was telling Kyle, I was like, dude, this would have been so perfect to have had a rotator. So we probably could have picked stuff from just down the hill. And
Yep. So on a big site like this, a spread out site, it's nice to have a regular forklift to feed this. So we keep this set up. The other site is small enough so that, and I've got the longer reach machine on that one, so that can just reach the whole radius.
Okay.
It's really nice when you can have everything within the radius of the machine, the dumpster, the material deliveries and all that stuff, so you can just kind of, you don't have to move. And then having one of these, it's all about the attachments you have, crane forks, jibs, buckets. I just started buying some of these waste management bags. They're $25 at Home Depot. It's just a trash bag.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And then you just rig it and send it.
Yeah, they just rig it and fly it in wherever.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And how long does this last for you? They don't seem like they're going to puncture you.
No, I mean, honestly, we haven't thrown away one yet.
Yeah,
We don't
nice.
use them a ton, but it's nice because it's light, so you can carry it around, drop it in some place, and send the crane up to get it. And like I said, they make their money on the pickup of the trash, not on selling the bag, so they're really cheap,
How are you going to get this machine out of here?
We drove it in through there. We're going to drive it out to there.
Nice.
It's a tight fit, but it's actually, when it's all sucked in, it has the same footprint as a lull.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think ours we measured, it was like 8'6".
This is 8'8". Yeah. So, and it's got a really short wheelbase, so it turns really
Nice.
tight, honestly.
All 4 wheels turn?
Yeah. Yeah. Same as a lull. It's got a pin right up here. You drop the pin in right there, and it is fixed, and then it's just a lull. It's literally So you can make it a non-rotator if you want.
Okay.
And you can just call it a lull. You know?
Interesting. Are you mostly controlling it remote?
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, always. Except for when we drive. That's the only time we get in the cab. It's a nice cab, but we don't.
Yeah.
We don't hang out there.
Hey, AC, somebody sent me pictures.
Yeah.
They're doing a job not far, I think in Canada where we're going, and they've got the man basket up. 2 people are siding, and they've got their operator in because legally they have
Sure.
to. And they have all these pictures of him just out like
Yeah,
a light.
totally.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
Kyle and I used to be like rock, scissors, paper because nobody really wants to be in the
No,
machine.
no, they don't.
It's
No,
pretty
they don't.
boring.
Yeah,
But
we
it's
can
so much
avoid it.
faster to get stuff done.
Oh,
Move
totally.
around. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very cool.
Yeah, but the thing that opens this up though is having all those different attachments, the baskets and the buckets and the forks. I mean, if you're going to go in on one of these, you might as well go all the way in.
Yeah.
You know, got our crane signal chart that makes it a legal crane.
Scratching my head with
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So we don't have to signal though, because you're using the
Yeah.
remote. So you're always at the point of install, and that's the beauty of it. That's the best part. You can rig it yourself. You can walk over. You can set it. Then you just have somebody come behind and finish it off. You know?
Yeah, yeah. You're preaching to the choir. For us, I think it was about 5 to 10 years, maybe too late.
Sure.
With Kyle moving on, I'm
Yep.
getting older. But if I think back maybe 15 years ago, when it was he and I and the market had crashed,
Yeah.
we couldn't have been a 2-person crew without equipment.
Yeah.
And had we had something like this then,
Totally changes it.
yeah, yeah.
But then the tail wags the dog too. Then you have to keep it going, right? That's the thing. And you don't want to have this sit for a week.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. What do you think, Steve? We could hook you. We could hook your belt.
Do you have a harness that can hold maybe about 180 pounds?
Oh yeah.
Steve's only 180.
No, it's not me.
Oh, that's right. I'm 185 pounds of
Send
sex appeal.
him way
I
up.
put you in the harness and lift you off.
So that's why we need a mannequin, because then we just put all the True Work gear on and just send him.
We did that. We did a
I'll
harness.
make you say that Jake Bruin isn't your favorite. It's me.
Well, Jake's
Until-
nobody's favorite. Let's
Okay.
be honest.
So we can come up with a different.
Nobody can
story.
convincingly say that
But
Jake's
I have
the
this
favorite.
vision of Tim dangling.
You've seen that before?
This,
We
like,
use tons of it.
Yeah.
For back.
some type of coercive,
backfill.
Yeah.
Yeah, gravel. I don't know.
Lightweight backfill.
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought in with big bags.
Yeah, 3-yard bags.
Yep. And
We're busy talking. We're going to have some pizza. Ben, thank you for the job site tour.
you're welcome.
No, that's okay. Beat it, Ben. No, that's good. I think that works out.
Yeah,
I'll
we
fly
use
the
that
drone
for
around before we leave.
Yeah.
And then we get rid of all of our clean stone, and that.
And that will bring us to a conclusion on this video. Thanks so much for watching. What an incredible job site, right? It is just stunningly beautiful. And seeing how Ben has to work backwards, the steel is the constraint. There's the crew. I just noticed Chris flexing. Yeah, it's a happy crew. He takes care of his guys. Anyway, we'll see you guys all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.